dear people of Slovenia. I'm happy to tell you that I will be coming to Slovenia this spring, in April. Some of you might know me as the author of The Psychology of Totalitarianism, a book in which I try to describe and to show how we are at risk of ending up in a new totalitarian system, a technocratic, transhumanist totalitarian system. I analyzed in this book how exactly totalitarian states come into being. I explained that they are the end result of a long psychological process which started in our culture with the emergence of the rationalist, materialist view of man in the world somewhere back in the 17th century. It was this rationalist view of man in the world which led to the fragmentation of the population, which made more and more people feel isolated and lonely, which made more and more people end up in a so-called atomized state, a state which makes them extremely vulnerable to an elite which uses more and more excessively propaganda, a new kind of lie, let's say, to manipulate the population. That's in a nutshell the process that I analyzed in my book, the process which leads to this diabolic pact between the masses and the elite, which totalitarianism always is. So I believe that even more important than than describing and analyzing the problem is finding a solution to the problem, or trying to feel where the solution is to the problem. And that's what I am doing now while writing my next book, a book about what I believe can really solve the root cause of mass formation and totalitarianism. From a psychological perspective, it's clear that our society, which is sick of this new kind of lie, which propaganda is not really struggling with a corona crisis or a Ukraine crisis or a Me Too crisis or a climate crisis. In the end, in the final analysis, there is only one real fundamental crisis, and it is a crisis of truth. And from a psychological point of view, it's clear that the real solution to the problem of totalitarianism is exactly situated at the level of truth speech. It's truth speech that doesn't only inhibit the mass formation, it's also truth speech which takes away the loneliness and disconnectedness of people. Truth speech, truth, is actually always a kind of speech which connects people to each other. Truth speech is resonating speech. It's a kind of speech that makes people vibrate on the same frequency. It's speech that connects people, not from ego to ego, but from soul to soul. That's what I will explain in detail in my next book, and what I will be talking about when I come to Slovenia. Throughout the last centuries, our rationalist view on man in the world has disrupted all the connections, all the relationships of the human being, not only to its fellow human beings, but also to nature around it, to its own body. The human being is alienated from its own body, from its own sexuality, from its own vital drives, and in a fascinating way, in an almost miraculous way, truth is what harmonizes, what re-establishes the bonds between people, the bond between a human being and its body, the bond between a human being and the groups it belongs to, and also the bond between a human being and nature around it. Truth makes us resonate. It makes us resonate with everything around us, with the existential context we find ourselves in. So, the more you understand that, the more you see that as a human being, we should do everything we can. We should invest the lion's share of our energy, our time, our power as a human being in practicing the art of truth speech. We should learn it. It's not something that you can do or you cannot do. You can make progress in it. You have to practice sincere speech time and time again, just like Mahatma Gandhi did. He practiced it time and time again. Every evening he looked back at the day and he wondered where he might have lied, where he might have spoken in an insincere way, where he could have spoken in a more sincere way. In this human being, without any real talent, as he said of himself. He said, I have no real talents at all. I was not smart, not strong, not handsome. I was not a good speaker, not a good writer. But this man, without any big talent, he did something nobody else could do. Even the biggest army in the world couldn't do. He kicked out the English of India. And he did so because of his loyalty to sincerity, to sincere speech. He was very clear about that. Sincere speech, it's truth speech, which is the core and essence of non-violent resistance. So, people, I'm very glad, I'm looking forward to come to Slovenia. I hope to meet you there. I hope to feel together with you what the power of speech can be. Hope to see you soon. Bye.